In the night I hear him talk, the cold story ever told. Somewhere far along this road he lost his soul to a woman so heartless. How could you be so heartless? Oh.
Dum 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 Ave Maria. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good luck to you for listening to us talk about movies for 30 minutes or probably more. You're listening to 808 and Hot Takes, the show with hot new movies and even hotter takes. I am Palmer Wells.
I'm Evan Parrish.
And I'm Paul.
And today, we are joined by none other than Mr. Adam Rakic. Adam, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Today, we're reviewing the long-awaited The Batman. The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. Paul.
It's his proper title.
Paul.
Yeah. What's up?
Tell me, were you anticipating the Batman's release?
I was looking a little forward to it. You know, it wasn't my most look forward movie of the year, but it's not something that I wasn't going to watch. I knew that it had garnered some interest in me and everyone around me, and I knew that it's something that I had to watch because it's not something I wanted to miss out on.
No. Evan, you the same way?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I managed to avoid all movie news, spoilers, trailers, so I'd only seen the trailers in the theater, but I could tell from the trailers that I'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited for this one.
Mm-hmm. Adam, our special guest, tell me, were you into this one going into it? What'd you think?
Yeah, I was, I'm a big Batman fan. I've always been looking forward to it, but, I'm a huge Robert Pattinson fan.
Yeah.
So when I saw he was casted as Batman, it was very exciting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing the rest of the cast come together, it really,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's a big cast.
Oh, yeah.
This one, because it's a COVID movie.
Yeah.
It's true.
We're not out of the COVID movies yet. So this one's been in production, it feels like, for so long. I was talking with Evan before the show how I remember seeing the first footage like back in first year university.
The first trailer came out February 2020.
2 years
February
ago.
2020. That's so long ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then COVID hell pushed it. But tonight was the night, and I knew the vibes were good as soon as we walked into that theater.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as we rounded that corner, I heard the king.
Yeah.
Calling.
See, folks, a few weeks ago, I'm sure you guys know, the trailer for the upcoming Elvis movie released. And as soon as I turned that corner, he's serenading me. And from that moment, I knew that it was going to be a good experience. See, here's the thing about the Elvis. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, we took our seats, and
we thought we were gonna get a trailer for the movie we're about to watch.
Yeah.
Because footage from it started coming on.
they hit us with the footage, but it was just some DC stuff. Are we interested for this upcoming DC stuff?
Not as much as this.
Didn't know any of the movies except for Aquaman was in the works because film news just kind of escapes me.
Yeah.
So,
That Black Adam's intriguing. I mean, I know Dwayne The Rock,
I think
hit or miss.
the main appeal is because you haven't seen any of the characters before, so people are gonna be like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the most interesting part. Otherwise, I feel like it's gonna be on the same on the same level as everything else they've made.
Yeah.
Nothing that I'm super excited about. This is what I find more interesting because of the level of it is I think it is on a different level because of the production quality and the different ideas going into it.
For sure.
Yeah, my quick note on that trailer is Marvel trailers, Marvel commercials get me hyped, get me on the edge of my seat. I was firmly in my seat for that trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know. DC just doesn't really do it for me. Certain DC movies I'm into, but the whole grandiose, I'm like, I'll take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's hit or miss a lot of the time, but and then I was almost confused at first because I guess if we're gonna get into it, I was confused. It started right away. I thought it hit us with the Warner Brothers, the red Warner Brothers. It hit us with the DC, and it hit us with the title card.
Yep.
Which I liked.
And it just begun.
It didn't hold back.
It just begun.
We start off with the first murder,
Right? And then we get that that Riddler scene, which Paul Dano, man.
Oh yeah.
That's everyone was casted perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it's safe to say right now that we're gonna get into very much detail about this movie, like in our every other podcast we have. So here's spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. But I was gonna say, much like the Batman movie, we just got into it. Opening thoughts.
Yeah.
First impressions of the movie.
Yeah, Palmer, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, like right away, like going into the movie. There's some movies where you got a feeling before you watch it, like this is gonna be a good movie. Yeah. I'm gonna like this movie, and when they hit us right away with this, just pure noir, detective, murder mystery, voiceover, rain, night, lights,
shadow.
I'm like, this is the vibe that I was hoping for and was expecting, and they stuck to it. You know, they carried it out, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised by humor that was there sometimes, and it felt campy sometimes, which I liked.
I think campy was necessary.
It was necessary,
so it didn't take itself too seriously.
Because we remember that, you know,
it's a comic book movie.
Adam West played the Batman once upon a time. It's the same character.
The Batman itself is a silly character.
Yeah. So for them to kind of, you know, stay true to that the whole way through, I really liked that, and obviously I walked out of that theater very, very, very pleased. Adam, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue for me is having to sit in a theater for like so long, like my legs or my back were killing me. That hurts my enjoyment of the movie in a weird way. Where I know now if I watch it again, I'll like it 10 times more.
In the comfort of your own
my own couch.
Yeah.
But that being said, I thought this was incredible. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Man, Robert Pattinson, just a silly, campy Batman, and then like emo Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, emo Bruce Wayne is
such a good contrast.
I think that was good.
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah, no, I was saying that I did really enjoy it. There's a lot of things that I found really enjoyable, specifically Colin Farrell. I think he was really good. Unrecognizable.
Yeah.
In fact.
You could see it in the eyes, but only sometimes. The rest was just, the makeup was great.
And Paul Dano, like you said, I think he was really great. Every time he yelled, I really enjoyed that. It was really a good time, and wow, it looked great. I'm really glad to see a comic book movie that knows what it's doing with its cinematography, and that knows that the visuals is half the story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially with Batman.
Oh yeah. Especially with a story like this that's heavily inspired by noir movies. You need the noir lighting and all the red. And that like mixed with the music all together and all the action, it comes together really well.
Yeah. This is a rarity on the podcast. We're all in agreement. My God, was that a good movie? Yeah, you've all touched on it. The cinematography, the story, emo Bruce Wayne, the action, the fighting, the way it was cut, the music, some of the writing, some of those lines. Yeah. It was very enjoyable to watch.
Same cinematographer as Dune
Really?
Really?
and Rogue One.
Interesting.
Both
He's been
very
busy.
pretty films. But yeah, we're all in agreement. That hasn't the times where we have a special guest star is when we're all in agreement. Because my brother with No Time to Die, we
Yeah.
all like No Time to Die.
Yeah. This is true. We need to have
Right?
more guest stars.
Yeah, then we'll agree.
All agree.
But yeah, I mean the footage, the opening scene with the Riddler and the duct tape, that opened the first trailer. The duct tape, and I'm like, the Riddler, man, because it's the Zodiac killer, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just
Some 7 in there too.
a lot of Seven,
Yeah.
lot of Fincher in there. It was just perfect. Yeah, but the Riddler, the introduction to him, because again, Jim Carrey played that character.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
So there's a certain amount of camp. There's a certain amount of just balls out craziness that Dano managed to capture. And the whole universe with the Batman characters is so fun that there's that diversity, not versatility.
Versatility.
Right? With you can have a Jim Carrey Riddler and this crazy Paul Dano Zodiac Riddler. So right away I was struck by what was going on.
Yeah. I think that the first 15 minutes opening to that movie, from the intro to the Riddler and that first murder to the subway fight, that whole 15-minute opening,
Yeah.
man, that was perfect in every way, I think.
The subway fight was great because it's not story, it's just building that world and this Bruce Wayne, this Batman, and it was done so perfectly.
The voiceover too for that whole fight, and yeah,
I got Watchmen vibes, because Watchmen is a comic book movie noir with voiceover, similar world.
Yeah.
I got the vibes. I don't know. But those are the vibes I got, because right away I thought that world was just so well built. And I love how they stayed consistent with it the whole time. But Matt Reeves, I mean, they knew how cool that Batsuit was. They knew, with the score and everything, they knew how to introduce that character. Coming from the frames, when they held the shot on the shadow, different shots, like because he is the shadows.
Yeah, you don't know where he's gonna
They think
come
he's
out.
in there, and then he walks out into the light.
I love the way they played with the shadows, hiding him in the shadows, but also the opening with the Riddler just standing perfectly behind him, and he moves out of frame. He's just there.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
One thing I really liked is the whole relationship with Catwoman and Batman. I was like grabbing the armrest at some points. It got so heavy.
Yeah, the sexual tension, I mean, was just so, like, you couldn't cut it with, you have to get a chainsaw or something.
Something like that.
And that's a testament to our Pats and Zoe.
Yeah, they had
The
something.
eye contact?
Ooh.
The eye contact.
It does a lot.
Like, it was so locked in. Man.
Yeah.
And all those, I've been seeing so much, like, because the marketing for this movie has been insane. I mean, I have a pizza box on my wall.
That's true, you do.
Little Caesar's Batman calzone. The marketing was insane for this movie. And recently, throwing all those photographs out there, promotional photos of Zoe and... Zoe?
Zoe. Is it Zoe?
Zoe Kravitz?
I believe it's Zoe. I pronounce it
Okay, Zoe.
Yeah.
Zoe and our Pats, just so intimate. Man. But yeah, their chemistry was off the charts. And yeah, Paul, anything on the opening before we keep going?
On the opening, I just liked I like the Riddler's costume. The production design in this movie is great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That everything, like, from the design of all the sets,
Yep.
and the costumes, the Batman costume, the Riddler costume.
Yeah, and what a change too from the standard comic book, like the green, the top hat, the wand, and like the question marks
They're
everywhere.
making it a little
And it's
more
just a mask.
realistic, because it's just a dude who's clearly lost his mind, and he's just like putting things together to hide his identity or to reveal his identity, as he says. But it's also a little silly at the same time because it's just a dude with a question mark on him, and he's dressed in green with the big glasses.
Yeah.
And you feel that it's like intentionally silly in that way, like just a little silly subtext because we remember, you know, what we've seen of the Riddler thus far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've never seen that brand of Riddler. But yeah, the Batsuit. The Batsuit for me is 95% perfect.
95.
What's the 5%?
I'm not sold on that cowl.
No?
Really?
The head, I'm not quite sold on it.
What would you rather it be?
I think the forehead
comes
out a bit too much. The collar and everything is perfect.
Only in certain shots. I can agree with you in some
The
shots,
cowl-
but for the we had a lot of close-ups on that mask too.
Yeah.
And I had no issues with it.
I loved his like his collar and his cape and the chest plate. Like when we first got camera test footage, like at the end of the year in 2019, we saw that his bat was like made out of. It looked like it was made from a gun. The way it's built.
Yeah, I don't
And it's
know if that's the case.
and, well, in the there's a line of comic books where Batman used the gun
that killed his parents.
that killed his parents
Yeah.
as his chest plate bat. So I don't know if Matt Reeves was looking into that.
That's
but,
hardcore.
but I think another thing I liked.
The Batarang, like removable icon on the chest, and you can use it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
That was good. That was good.
Gadgets were very practically used. I was so impressed how just subtly he'd like be walking down a wall.
Yeah.
Like he just had a gadget always ready.
Yeah.
And the little if we're talking spoilers, the adrenaline shot in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just has that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to have that.
Yeah.
I
Because
really believe it.
people do that to give themselves energy.
Yeah.
Get a big old shot of monster in his leg.
No.
But see, we're 20 minutes in, and I'm so pleased because no time has been wasted.
No.
He's the Batman.
Yeah.
It's year 2, but I love that him and Gordon, they're best buds.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
besties already.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to build that.
Yeah, they've helped each other out.
They're best buds. I love that.
You say that. I'm really curious though. This movie's left me with a question. I'm really curious though. This movie's left me with a question. What happened to Batman's parents?
They died.
Well,
it said it earlier.
But like,
In the movie.
if we could have like a flashback or something,
I
that would
think
that would have been
yeah,
fun.
I
But,
think that's
like-
too much exposition.
But like, I really don't know what happened to his
No,
parents.
because
though.
there was a broadcast that was
Are you
saying like
kidding?
20 years earlier.
Yes,
his
I'm not
parents-
joking. Every single movie has a Batman flashback where his parents die. Good lord, I loved that we just dropped right into it. I didn't need that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
That was
some
convincing.
movies, some
Yeah,
movies is
so-
done well. I thought you guys would pick up on that instantly. My god, okay. That's enough joking around, I
Yeah.
guess. Yes, I agree. I liked how we just went straight into it. We
And Jeffrey Wright, I mean,
didn't need the flashback.
That was like one of my.
He's good.
He was one of my favorites in that movie.
he doesn't miss.
No,
Yeah.
his delivery
His
on like,
voice?
so many lines is
Yeah.
it's crisp.
Yeah,
He calls Batman man. That says man to him.
he does.
They're close.
He ate that punch too, and then Batman just beat up like every cop in the police station. That was sick.
He took that punch, and then he could have pulled the punch. I did. Damn.
Every little one-liner like that, little quip,
Yeah.
it worked well. It wasn't like forced or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm starting to think? It's a long movie, hard to remember. Do we attack like just the characters right now?
We could.
Yeah.
You know, because chronologically, 3-hour movie, it's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am forgetting
Yeah.
some elements
Yeah.
in the early stages.
Yeah.
Although, like, getting off of like the whole first bit, the fact that this is a detective movie and a
Oh.
crime thriller,
Yeah.
and we haven't seen that in a Batman movie before.
Yeah.
Like he's
No.
done like a little bit of like, oh, who's behind this? Nothing to this level of
Yeah.
this actual riddles, and
Yeah.
and they're both like fun, silly riddles, but also like it's the Riddler, and it's as serious as it can get with it.
Yeah.
URL.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was so
that was good.
URL.
Yeah, there's jokes. It's goofy sometimes,
Yeah.
but
The whole penguin scene where they have him tied up. And,
yeah.
The
And
Waddles.
what is it? What is this? Bad cop and batshit cop.
Batshit Cop was so funny. I'd be dying. But yeah, Colin Farrell was great.
I liked how when he's like looking at him with the, or I think it was the girl with the contact lenses that can detect people. It just didn't detect him, and it made me think like, is he
Didn't detect Bang Bang?
It couldn't read him to read.
Oh,
his name.
it's because he's like so ugly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's wearing a prosthetic. Like in the movie, he's wearing a prosthetic. Like, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, Colin Farrell was great in this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and the makeup on him.
The makeup was great.
Yeah.
I knew it was him, but I couldn't at any point tell it was him.
Yeah.
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 You even his eyes is hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his voice is completely different.
Voice
He's
was
never played a
different.
character like this.
No.
I was getting so many De Niro vibes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like his speech, his mouth. Sometimes you would get the, like he must have did
now
some
that you say
homework.
that,
Yeah,
even that like impression there, yeah.
I was
makes
getting
sense,
lots of De Niro vibes. I don't know.
Yeah, I was getting some Gandolfini too.
Gandolfini maybe
Yeah.
too,
Mm.
and my boy John Turturro.
Oh yeah.
I
One
didn't-
man.
I didn't notice
alone.
it. Like it was like what 2 seconds
Yeah.
in the eyepiece we saw, and you turn over to me, you're like, one man alone. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because I knew he was in this
There
movie before going into it,
See,
but I didn't see much of his character. He's old.
He's getting old
He's
now.
in there, yeah.
Like we see him in the Transformers movie, and he's in his like prime, and here he's not gonna he's losing the amount of roles he's gonna be able to play.
Yeah.
But he does this one well.
I'm interested. Yeah, now he's kind of aged into a new category of roles, kind of that older kind of character. I'm
Older and serious, but still a little like playing with it.
Yeah.
He's still having fun with it, which is good.
Yeah, he does very well with it. And yeah, I mean, Zoe Saldana was just...
Zoe Kravitz.
Kravitz, yeah.
Wrong Zoe.
Zoe Kravitz was just... I feel like
She
I've
was-
said Saldana before in this podcast.
Maybe. But she
maybe
was
it
really
got
good.
past us. But Kravitz, yeah, she played it so straight,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, she drank milk like a cat in preparation for this role. I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's pictures of it for some reason.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I guess it worked because she played the role well.
It did work.
It paid off.
Lots of cats. I noticed you were enjoying the cats. Evan.
There was that one cat. She was leaning back on the counter, and that cat just did not care it was in a movie. Was brushing right up against her back. I'm like, that's a good cat right there.
Yeah.
It's a good cat.
I feel like I thought we'd get even more Alfred, Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
I liked his Alfred, though.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's tough because the Batman, I mean, we've seen like 3 Alfreds in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And you're competing with Michael
Yeah.
Caine.
Michael
Yeah.
Caine.
3 movies.
I mean, heck, even Jeremy.
Michael Caine was good, but what I liked about this Alfred is he's active in helping the Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Michael Caine's Alfred, he was sort of helpful, and he was like giving advice and whatever, and saying all these things.
Jeremy Irons and
Jeremy
Snyder.
Irons too. He was also
nice
good.
and helpful.
But you didn't get that much of
Fun.
him either.
No,
I don't
not
remember
the
that too
theatrical
much.
cut.
Yeah, but like, this Alfred didn't even hesitate to just like, oh, puzzle, let me solve
And
it.
he's smart too.
Yeah.
He's smart.
He's smart.
too.
He knows what he's doing. He takes care of him.
Yeah, I
Taught him
would
how to fight.
I would have even
apparently.
liked because he's hobbling around. He's got scars. I would have liked to
Learn
know
more.
more of his story.
He
Like
said
what
he was in a circus at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he was in
Yeah.
the
he did
circus.
say that, didn't he?
Yep.
But I also liked how, like, the Wayne Manor was like Tim
was a
Burton.
crazy-
He was gothic. Yeah.
Gothic
Like
tower.
it was like they're so like they
It's a
picked
very
they picked
Batman
an aesthetic
place, yeah.
and
Yeah.
they went
And-
into it.
And I would have completely forgiven them. Like, the outside of the tower is Gothic. Okay, that's cool. And then the inside could have been whatever. And I probably would have
Inside.
believed it.
Yeah.
But the inside is a freaking castle.
Yeah, which makes
and
sense.
I'm like, it blew my mind because it was so cool.
Straight up
It's
castle.
also just Gotham as a whole. Like I was trying to figure out which
Gotham.
city that was, and it's just
Yeah.
no, this is Gotham.
Because
They
I was
did really
expecting
well
it to be
hiding
New
it,
York
yeah.
again. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's not New York because that's also not
Yeah.
New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the
So-
signs and everything, and just every little bit of the world was done really well.
Yeah.
It's one of the better Gothams we've seen.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think so as well. Because usually,
Yeah.
like I think Dark Knight trilogy, like it's just
You
New
don't.
York.
It's just a city.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
New York.
You don't get personality from that city.
No.
You don't see much of Gotham on the TV or on anywhere.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Atlanta, you know, like Tim Burton. I mean, that's Gotham City.
Yeah.
And now this one, that's Gotham
And
City.
I think it did a really good way, a really good job of making this story feel like it's part of a real world.
Yeah.
Because not only is the city believable, but the use of the internet and social media is one of the better uses of social media and news and media that I've seen in movies lately.
Yeah.
And I have to congratulate it for being believable and not like, oh, this is stupid. But
Yeah.
and the whole Riddler having 500 followers on some like type of 4chan website or something, where he's just posting videos about how he's going to blow up the city. That's believable too. People do that in real life.
Yeah.
And
I liked one of the lines it walked was the technology where like he's using believable technology and he's using some high tech stuff,
Yeah.
but the amount of old vintage retro stuff, and I know we're all a fan of less screens in movies, and I think the most the most obvious example to me was when Zoe, Catwoman, is leaving the bar for the first time, and a modern cab drives by, doesn't stop for her, and then what pulls up is like a 1960s cab with another new cab in the back. I'm like, okay, we got old school elements. Batman, Bruce is phoning home, and Alfred's got this old dial phone instead of like a cell phone or a landline. So, and it didn't feel out of place.
No.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that
I
anachronistic.
liked the blend of technology.
Yeah, and the Dark Knight trilogy as well used like media news in the world very well too. But yeah, this one just felt different because I don't think we haven't seen like that type of detective Batman.
Oh no, not at all.
In live action. Like, he's not walking into crime scenes in any other movie, I don't think,
No.
right?
He's always after the crime scenes. He's never working like to solve the crimes.
He's never being escorted into a crime scene.
He just hears from someone else like, oh, the guy's over there, I'm gonna go get him.
Or he'll like get a briefing from Gordon later on.
Yeah. Like he's because he's called, you know, the world's greatest detective, but have we really seen that?
No, not until he starts solving ciphers,
solving ciphers,
just right there.
That's a good point. Actually, that's a very good point.
Right?
He was noticing the little dent on the floor that was called back 2 hours later into the movie, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the tool matches the little indentation on the floor." Like, come on.
Yeah.
First of all, no way anyone would put those together, but I'll believe it because it's Batman.
But also because we're walking around in that opening. And we're walking around the crime scene, and he's looking at things, and you can tell he's taking mental notes, and he like looks at the footprint, and that we got like a second of it with the groove in the ground and the blood.
He also rewatched the footage later,
and I'm like, there's no way he's gonna remember that. And then the very next scene, he's in the Batcave rewinding footage. I'm like, that's how he's gonna remember. That's how we get around that.
Yeah, the contact lens video camera it makes a lot of sense. It adds a lot.
I thought that was a fun scene. That was a good scene with the going through the nightclub.
Yeah. That was a good scene. And I think I liked. I mean, whenever they're on that rooftop with the bat signal. See, I think that was the volume they used.
I believe because there were a lot of reflections. Now that you mention it,
I think it was.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely was.
I think
I've seen pictures.
Yeah. You
But
know,
it works
Mandalorian.
well.
You know,
that
I think
works so well.
I think that was the volume, and they didn't miss an opportunity to get a nice shot there with the silhouettes. That one time we looked at each other when Gordon goes up, and the Batman just steps out.
Steps out behind the thing. Whenever he steps out of the shadows, it's good.
Whenever that's one thing that every Batman movie they've done something like that because that's Batman, right?
Just disappears mid-sentence.
When
He's just leaving. He's just gone.
When he says in the beginning, they think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows. I knew he was going to say the second part as soon as he said that.
It's not like it's
a fun line.
It's almost like, you know, what do you call it when it's cheesy but a good kind of cheesy?
It's campy.
That's campy, right?
It's campy, yeah.
So it's so perfectly campy. It's like, I don't know, like
if anyone else was saying these things that Batman was narrating, it would be like, oh, it's too corny.
But
he's Batman.
Yeah, the first fine line I think they walked was the technology. That's the second fine line of making things campy, but also like it worked so well.
Yeah.
The Riddler's laugh that could have so easily become like Jared Leto's Joker, where like
it was just stupid.
but then the way it paired with the score and just the layout of the scene, I'm like, this isn't the Joker. This isn't Jared Leto laughing. This is something else.
It's something new. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the second fine line is the drama and the campiness, which I think worked so well.
And that score didn't disappoint, eh?
No. Good use of
It's
Ave Maria.
the same
Ave
theme
Maria.
in almost every piece.
Yeah.
Did I care?
No, but it's impressive that they're able to utilize that in so many different ways.
And we looked at each other because they
did Ave
did
Maria,
Ave Maria
but
a couple times
instrumental,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
They did an instrumental version of it, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked the Thomas Wayne stuff because the adaptations don't normally go the route of Thomas Wayne was actually sketchy.
Yeah.
I played this video game, Telltale. They've gone bankrupt
Yeah,
now.
Telltale's rip.
But they made these Batman games, and in them, the Wayne family, they were bad people, and I loved that because it was different. So when they were kind of going in that direction, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I like where this is going. Did you buy that?
I bought it at first, and then I liked the scene with Andy Serkis where he tells him what was really going down.
Really going down.
I thought that was a really good performance from him.
And he did very well there.
Because I got this is different. Thomas Wayne is a bad guy because I didn't play that game, so to me the idea of Thomas Wayne being a bad person.
Yeah, if they
was
just left him
new.
as like a bad guy, I also probably wouldn't have complained. Like I think
And
it would have
I
been
wouldn't have,
believable
but
because tons of people are correct here.
It also gave us that scene with Andy Serkis. And I loved that even more. I think.
Yeah, we needed that Bruce Alfred stuff.
Yeah.
As we need with every Batman, because that relationship is so key to Bruce's motivations, I think.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, they keep making Batman movies. That relationship has to be nailed. And I thought I would have taken 2 or 3 more scenes with them.
Yeah.
I think any less, it would have been like not enough.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Because I was scared they were actually gonna kill him off. And
Yeah.
like it didn't feel right that he would just be gone so early.
Yeah.
But it's a new Batman. It's a
I was thinking like, are they gonna up the stakes on?
Going to do this? Is he just gone now?
But I liked how angry Batman was driving the thing back, and he was yelling. He was trying to pump the thing, trying to call him.
Yeah.
And I was wondering the whole time, does the Riddler know that he's Bruce Wayne or not? And the movie tiptoed around that quite a few times, but I think it was interesting.
Do you think,
especially that ending?
Do you think he does? I know they kind of answered it, but do you think he does now? I think he does.
I think on some level, maybe.
Because the way he's playing with him.
Yeah, he was playing with him.
Bruce.
Yeah, at that point I was like, I think he knows.
Come on.
Because he's looking at his reaction too. He's a smart guy.
He's got the papers on the wall. As younglings.
And he's like, I know who you are.
Yeah. I was so torn there because the Bruce Wayne, and then he kept going. I'm like, okay, maybe this, like, if it were to play out, in like a No Way Home scenario where that footage were to leak.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a scapegoat where, like, okay, he's talking about Bruce, not Batman.
Yeah.
But then it kept going. I'm like, okay, he definitely knows. But then that mask,
he's like, we could have we were supposed to get him together.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
But then he said it hides. He said something about like hiding your identity. I'm like, maybe he does know.
He might.
I'm undecided right now.
But he might, but he doesn't care enough to tell people because that's not gonna push his agenda.
Yeah.
He wants something different.
Yeah, there's some comic book or some, it might even be those Arkham games, which I love so much, where, like, Joker knows who the Batman is.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna, reveal that because, he needs the Batman.
Yeah, they need each other.
They need their rivalry.
Yeah.
So I feel that was the vibe I was getting from this Riddler character. And I always like that type of antagonist where everything's planned out, getting caught on.
He's always
purpose.
one step ahead.
Always one step ahead.
I really like how the whole reveal of all the bombs everywhere,
Yeah.
and the city's getting flooded, and the city's actually getting flooded. It's actual stakes, and it's not like the world's gonna end. Like the city's in danger,
Yeah.
and some few people are in danger.
Yeah. You know, it's not an Avengers level threat. It's just Batman and his city.
Yeah.
Because that was the Batman.
And when those guys
character
dressed up
is.
as the Riddler started walking in with the guns, it's like, oh, this has become like a mass shooting scenario.
Yeah.
It's getting real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a good like setup and payoff of like at the beginning you see that guy and he's like scared of Batman. He's like, "Don't hurt me."
Yes.
And then at the end, it's like he
Right.
does something to really like have people rally behind him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to give people hope.
Yeah.
And the stakes were definitely there because
Yeah.
like in the arena,
Right.
and he's fighting all the Riddler copycats, and then they beat him. And I'm like, okay, it's done. And job well done, Batman. Job well done. And then we pan down, and the flooding starts coming in. I'm like, you can't stop nature.
Yeah.
No.
That is just people actually dying. And
And
then I realized like, what's he gonna do? Like,
And then the electrical wire, and I thought he was gonna jump into the electrical box and electrocute himself for some reason. But what he did made a little more sense.
Yeah.
I like that he used the thing on his chest, and it wasn't just there as like a little emblem.
it wasn't
He-
used one time.
He used it like
was used a couple
3 times or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it was used a couple times.
It was good.
But yeah, that's a good note, Adam. Like the character of the Batman had a character arc, a development. You know, he was different at the end of the movie than he was at the beginning. When that opening scene where the guy's like, "Oh, don't hurt me," you know, he's like, "I'm making everyone scared of me." Like everyone,
Yeah.
you know, the people I'm meant to
Because
protect.
he can't trust anyone either.
And that's also a bit of a different path to take, I think. Especially right in the opening that everyone is scared of Batman.
Everyone's scared of
Because it's
Batman,
been 2 years and he's just been beating people up.
beating
Yeah.
people up.
And even
you know.
like graffitiers are scared of him.
Yeah.
Even the graffitiers are scared of it.
Which
But at
works
the
for
end,
him,
you
yeah.
know, and it being daylight, or morning.
Yeah,
and
and he's out there.
And he's out there in front of crowds of people, helping people, lifting people up.
Yeah.
You know, that was a good moment. I really like that. And my favorite shot from the trailers, anything that we've seen so far, is the overhead with that torch in the water.
Yeah.
That's my favorite shot in the trailer.
I gave that one a good nod.
So seeing that one,
That was nice.
that's probably my favorite because it's just it's so powerful. And now that I know that, because I seeing it in the trailers, I think I was thinking that those are like enemies. Oh, you know, he's got to beat people up. But now that he's guiding innocent people to safety, man.
It's Batman.
And the orange that they've been using the whole movie.
The shot for me from the trailers, pitch black hallway.
Oh, yeah.
The only lighting is muzzle flashes.
How do they
Good
achieve
Lord,
that?
I was
Yeah.
trying
Like,
to
how
figure
do
that out
you-
the whole time.
Dark Knight did something similar too. And
I
Batman
loved
Begins,
that
I
it was
think.
just
Yeah, and there's like a nightclub
Yeah,
or something.
it's
like
in
that.
one
I
of the
don't know.
3.
I don't remember that too much. But this is impressive because
I was trying to figure
How
out
do
how they did the lighting.
Daredevil also does something like that too. It's a
you
good,
have
it's
to
a
use
good
actual
perfect
light
shot.
because you see them, which
Yeah,
means there are actual lights on set there.
Because I would like to do something similar just to see how it would be done.
I mean, even like
And
cutting
I can't figure
with
it out.
frames of black. I mean, there's certainly
That
just
could
frames
be.
of black in there, right?
Mhm.
That might
Just
also be the
cutting
case. Yeah.
slits
Yeah.
and piecing it together. Because I mean, it's just being lit by that gunfire. It looks so cool.
That's a good practical way for
Right?
us to do it. Yeah.
Just cutting the black quickly, a few frames.
Yeah.
You know, that'd do it.
Yeah.
But I really I wish we had seen more of it when he went just Bruce Wayne into that nightclub at first, just with his sweater and his hoodie on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would follow through with that. He put the suit on.
Yeah. He always carries his suit in his backpack, which I find funny. And he changes it really quickly. Like, he puts the
Yeah.
whole thing on, all the gadgets and everything is ready, all his grappling hooks and tasers.
Yeah, when
Pretty
he
quick.
came in I think he just had the paint on his eyes.
Yeah.
And Zoe Kravitz was in trouble upstairs, Catwoman.
Yeah.
And he's not in costume, but then he is in costume, and I was thinking
Yeah.
these must not have been happening simultaneously, and
Yeah,
he's
no.
been
Yeah.
just changing into the suit. Unless he just changes and He
See,
whips it out
yeah.
and changes
He's so
it
used.
in.
It's been 2 years. He just
Yeah.
like pull it up.
Yeah.
He speed
Yeah.
runs. He's like it's like those firemen who like do it in 30 seconds, put
Yeah.
everything on.
Suspension of disbelief is easy when it's Batman.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
you know, I buy
Yeah.
it
So
all.
as soon as he went into that room,
I bought
knew,
it all.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna take the lights out, and we were gonna get nice red,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and nice dark.
Even like going back to the costumes really quickly,
Mm.
all of like Bruce Wayne costume, his like in between Bruce Wayne and Batman, just the black cap, the hood up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
doing like detective work, not as officially Batman.
Mhm.
Loved that, but also the black around the eyes.
Yeah.
See, because every other Batman costume, there's the eyepieces.
Yeah.
But how does he black out his eyes? And it's just
It's makeup.
like
Yeah.
Or they
grease
have
paint,
it
just-
blacked out, and then he'll take off the jowl, and it's not
Yeah,
blacked out.
it's always his eyes with the black around it,
yeah.
but then he takes it off and it's just.
Yeah.
Also-
People don't want Christian Bale walking around with.
I get the
With
feeling
that,
that Batman did not sleep at all in the week that this movie took place in.
Yeah.
Because you see him awake every single night,
Yeah.
and he's like doing stuff during the day too.
Yeah.
So
I liked that.
I
Like,
don't know,
it
but-
was just a mess at all times.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that added a lot to the emo feel because
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
he's got it off, it's just it's black. He's got like he's tired. He's
Even at that funeral, when he was arguably at his, most prim and proper, he looked just tired and weak.
oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's definitely one of the smaller Batmans, like in terms of in
Mhm.
terms of build.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess that you could attribute that to year 2. He's
Yeah,
still kinda
that-
young.
Yeah.
yeah, he's still a little younger, but
Because if
Yeah.
his parents died 20 years ago and he was what, maybe 8 or 9?
yeah, he's under 30.
Yeah.
He's in his 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd love to get the numbers on screen time because, like, looking back, there wasn't much Bruce Wayne.
No, it
No.
was.
It was all Batman.
All Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to get the numbers. It's got to be like 80-20 Batman.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Batman
And a
as
lot
the
of that
detective.
Batman probably wasn't Robert Pattinson either. It's probably some stunt guy in the suit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But
yeah.
they hit it well.
Yeah, combat sequences.
I thought they were incredible.
They were great. That was
Oh,
great choreography.
yeah.
It was a very brutal fighting. It wasn't.
And the
very,
sound
it wasn't
effects.
very
Sound
flashy.
design
It
was
was just
excellent.
Sound mixing of all the
You could
punches,
feel
every
it.
every crunch
You
when he
could
punches
feel-
anything.
Yeah.
You could feel all of it.
Yeah,
And,
and like
there
that
were
first
some-
fight in the nightclub when he goes to see the penguin and everything
Yeah.
near the beginning of the movie, and there's red lights flashing everywhere, and he's just jumping around doing parkour, punching everyone.
Yeah.
and there were some good stunts. Like
Oh yeah,
in Catwoman slamming, I'm blanking on his name, Totoro.
Yeah.
Like his head off the
Phone,
counter
yeah.
for like
oh
three
Yeah, one of his
frames,
guys,
and
yeah.
he bounces back up and goes flying.
Yeah.
That one, Batman being launched out of the car, and he's
Yes.
rolling, or like he's launched. You see him roll down the sidewalk, and then he gets up and goes.
That was after he
Off.
flew.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that too.
Oh, yeah.
Whether,
Oh,
it was,
that
whether
was-
it was
that
a
was
stunt double or
rough.
actually
Yeah.
him, I couldn't tell.
I don't
It
know.
was
I liked
Good
how
stunts.
his bat wings were like a kind of a separate thing he had.
yeah, he
somewhere.
had it ready at
Yeah.
all times,
Had
and he
it
must have
ready
only
to
like
go.
tested it a few times because he seemed scared.
Yeah.
He wasn't very used to it.
And I like that because year
Yeah.
2 Batman.
He's not very
He's,
He's new to
he's
it.
not super experienced, right?
like his mind is trained, but his body isn't as trained as like a much older Batman.
yeah.
Right.
But I again, I really liked that we didn't cut away from the action. We saw a lot of
Yeah, they
fighting.
they really stuck on it.
Yeah.
For,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Not just cut. You don't see anything.
Especially, and again, like it was in the trailers, but that first subway fight,
Oh yeah.
oh, he's taking a beating. Like people are coming at him with pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
He gets shot how many times in
Yeah,
this movie?
so
and there's
many.
bullet holes in his
He has
suit at the end.
shotgun.
He
point blank.
gets beat up quite a bit and gets back up
Yeah.
a lot.
I mean,
Adrenaline.
I kind of looked past that because
Yeah.
I gotta assume that the suit is just like he's
Yeah.
you know
There were like
because
towards-
shotgun to the chest and
He also
got
gets
up.
a bomb in his face.
That I don't know if I bought
No,
because
because his mask was like leather. It looked like.
Yeah,
See, the
I-
guy put the shotgun to his face. He was scared because
Yeah,
he's not gonna
no.
block it.
I bought it until they take him to the police station and only once they're at the police station, they're like, let's take his mask off.
Yeah.
Like, they could have gone across the city and they're like, let's just hold on a
I
second.
thought that scene was really funny when he just wakes up there and immediately jumps up and is like...
But did I care that they waited that long?
No. Cause it just,
Nothing that could possibly be a flaw in this movie bothered me as much because of all the positives. Like, even the ending isn't my favorite. Like, he's saving people. Like, it's like a pretty standard thing. He's saving people wasn't an extraordinary thing, and they're setting up more story that's possible while wrapping up the current story. And there's a whole scene with the Riddler and Barry Keoghan.
Joker.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
You didn't know about it?
I knew it was gonna be in there.
I didn't.
Like, you didn't know about it, like you didn't know it was gonna happen, or you didn't like it?
No, I didn't know about it beforehand.
Right.
But Barry Keoghan? Is this how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, I think that's
The
how I say it.
Joker. I really like him in The Killing of a Sacred
Oh
Deer.
yeah, he's great in that.
That's an evil role.
I think he could do that role.
You mean the guy who's in Eternals? My
Yeah.
favorite movie.
Eternals, yeah. That's pretty much what I know him from too.
I wish Dunkirk is in there.
Oh, he's in The
Oh,
Green Knight, too.
Yes, he's good
That's
in that.
right.
Good
He
in
is in
that,
the
yeah.
Green Knight.
I like him a lot, but
I don't know about
You don't buy that
Mr.
Joker?
Joker, I don't know.
I'd have to see it.
Yeah.
I'm not against it,
Yeah.
but it's not something I'd...
I think it has
Right
to
away.
be done differently. For
Oh
me to
yeah,
like it.
no, it has to be
Because
different.
you're always going to be competing with Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
Jared Leto
He's not in competition.
had to go up against Heath
Yeah,
Ledger.
like Crime Boss Joker was never the right direction for me.
Like, Jack Nicholson was the
anyways.
closest way to do that, and
Yeah.
he did fine.
He did fine.
I just think that it's got to be something completely different. And I think we were starting to get there.
He also
This
looked different
Joker?
too. From what you could see on the lighting on his face was very scarred.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
If they
I
are
wish
going to
we
use
saw
him
more.
later, which I don't know if they should right away, because it feels like they'd be banking off of that
Yeah.
too quickly. I do like the
Yeah.
Riddler a lot. I'd like to see more of him. He's cool.
Yeah, and like from what
But,
I've read, Matt Reeves has been talking because sequel is. I think it's almost confirmed
It must
already.
be.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything really about the Joker for a sequel. I've heard other
No.
things.
I've heard
but,
Penguin.
Penguin, the
talk
Court of
about
Owls.
They did set up
Quarterback.
Penguin for...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
becoming
that was
the
set up.
boss now.
yeah.
Well, actually, Colin Farrell said that there's already a
spin-off.
a show in the
Show,
works.
yeah.
Ooh.
Something.
HBO, I think.
But
so we'll see what happens there.
I think this Joker has the potential for a good foundation. Like
Yeah.
for a
Yeah,
good
something
new
new, yeah.
character. He looks different. He sounded different. It was like a Hannibal clicking sound, not a laugh at the start. There's potential. There's potential.
Yeah. We'll have to see. It'd have to be something other than I'm going to destroy the city because I'm crazy Joker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think it would have give us a bit of breathing time, DC. 'Cause
Yeah.
we had The Dark Knight, and then we had Suicide Squad, and then we had Joker, and then we had Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and
this
now
is
we've
true.
got another.
And also, there's so many good Batman.
There's so many
villains,
unused
right?
things, like because the
Yeah.
Riddler is this is only the second time we're seeing the Riddler, and like so it makes sense to use him, and he was used very well in this. It worked really well as part of a detective story, solving riddles,
It works
solving
perfectly.
crimes. Everything
Like just going to Zodiac
thematically, yeah,
is perfect.
yeah, it worked really well for this.
It was perfect.
Yeah, Zodiac 7, like every,
7,
like gritty,
So much
crime
7 in
thriller.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh.
his whole apartment
Yeah,
Yeah.
was just that one. I forget what the sin is, but that one scene.
yeah.
It was
I find other villains that can fit that
yeah.
genre because that's a genre that
Yeah.
that superhero movies don't go down.
I think the trouble with this now is that if they are going to make a sequel, it has to be completely different from this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you finally made the first detective Batman movie, but how do you make a second detective Batman movie that's not the same as the first?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like I would love for them to go because we only have probably like 2 or 3 of the diary entry voiceovers.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would have taken that
Right.
the whole movie.
Yeah.
I would have taken the whole movie of dietary entries, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I was sold on much of it. Adam, was it just because of sitting in the chair that you felt the length, or do you think
Yeah.
you would on a normal circumstance?
See, I think if I were to watch this at home,
Yeah.
maybe I and I could pause it like halfway through, you know, stand up for a bit
Yeah,
and come
stretch,
back
get a
to
snack,
it.
yeah.
Because it was a long movie.
It was.
Because
almost
it
like
moves
4
well.
hours.
You know when I started to feel the length was after the penguin car chase scene that's in the trailer. I think it was that scene. After that scene, I was really starting to feel it. Well, not really starting to feel it, but
I'm starting to become aware of it. Yeah.
I think I guess the second act was a bit slow for me.
Second act, because I think when they dipped into the Wayne stuff, then it was story over kind of the action because they had to develop that.
Yeah.
So I saw the dip, but it had to be done. I thought.
It didn't take anything significant away from my enjoyment of the movie.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I did like that stuff too.
Yeah.
Even though I felt it was stretching.
Yeah. And when the third act kicked off with Paul Dano and that coffee shop that we've seen from the most one of the most recent trailers. Yeah.
I was wondering if they were gonna make him look like just a regular guy, or if he looked some kind of different, or had a scar or something.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. He's just a dude. Like he's pretty regular looking.
And I bought his motivation. It was simple, you know.
Yeah.
He was one of the orphans that the Waynes were gonna help, and then the Wayne got shot, and no one cared.
No one cared about him.
I bought it.
Yeah.
And no one cares about a lot of other people, and he's sort
And
of
he
getting
dives
that.
into it, and he sees all the garbage in the city.
And he sort of loses it because of that.
Because I like when, you know, the hero and the villain, they have the same kind of quarrel with what's going on.
Yeah.
But just
They go
extreme
different.
ends.
Yeah, they're two. There is a dichotomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt good. It felt right when he asks for Bruce to come and visit him.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're doing the same thing here,
Yeah.
and Bruce can't believe it.
Yeah.
That I really liked that scene too.
And
the interrogation
and
scene.
then Bruce got so he kept denying it, and he's like, "You're pathetic. You're nothing." And he kept crying and no. I like that.
I liked the shift in the power dynamics where okay, does he know he's Bruce, and then maybe he doesn't, and then Bruce isn't on the same page with him, so he thinks that his plan is falling apart, and that's when we get a lot of that screaming, the pacing. But then there's something that Bruce missed, and now Paul Dano's character Riddler's back on top, and then we go back and discover the bombs. I enjoyed that whole scene.
Yeah, and Paul Dano is one of those guys who just, it's always dead on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He always understands the assignment perfectly. But that made me get an image in my head, you know, those kind of overhead shots where he's graffitiing his floor or breaking up the carpet. You know, there are shots in Seven just like that with sloth on the table or greed on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, so he was watching his Fincher before making it, which was just the perfect approach. I felt. You know, you can tell how clear Matt Reeves' vision was.
Yeah, there's a lot of artistic integrity in this
frame.
movie, and a lot of real inspiration and vision all over this movie, and the visuals and just how pristine it looks.
It's admirable because this is the type of thing that we're always asking for. Get out of the green screen room.
Yeah.
You know, go into the world. Get you know, do a proper lighting setup. Do something practical. This is what we're asking for, and they delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really cool Batmobile.
Oh
Love the Batmobile.
Oh, the Batmobile.
Didn't
even touch on that.
The whole car chase scene.
The whole car
general.
chase. But I was sitting there watching. I'm like, is this my favorite Batmobile? Because it's a year 2 Batmobile. It's obviously it was kind of a basic modeled car that he just decked out.
Yeah.
I love it.
We saw him working on it earlier. I'm like, okay, he's just working on something, and then we see the engine again. I'm like, so he just finished building
And
it.
the sound of it.
And just the fire spewing out.
Yeah, I would buy.
Yeah.
Batmobile.
I would even buy if that was like his first time using it, because he was whipping around the bike.
Yeah, it was
for
under
like an hour and a half.
It was under a tarp at the start.
And also, he tried to get at the start, and it barely moved. It just bucked a little, and looked like he was having trouble moving.
Yeah.
And he had to kick it off of it.
So I would buy that. That was the intention, is that he's just busting this bad boy out the first time, fresh out of the box.
And the whole highway part of it was
The
that was
orange
intense.
highway.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, are they gonna kill people on this highway?
And they did.
Because I know from the trailer that something was gonna happen. I was like, oh, what's gonna happen?
That's one of those scenes where if you sit back and you like really watch, you're like, oh, that person's dead. Oh,
Yeah.
they're dead. And the first one,
At least 100 people
he just
died there.
bumps a truck, and the truck is like obliterated by
Causes
this
a
semi.
Final Destination
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it just coincidentally forms a ramp and he flies.
Yeah,
through the
yeah.
flames.
I know that shot was in the trailer,
Yeah.
but that was.
I was
so
looking forward
sick.
to it.
Like sitting there on the big screen, just the upside down, him in the flames, slow
Yeah.
motion with this song, like that is so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's so Batman. Though he's walking slow, he knows he's got him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even though I've seen if I hadn't seen that in the trailer,
You'd lose your
imagine
mind.
that was the first time.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I try not to watch any trailers, but they show them all the
They're
time.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And see that
Yeah.
it's just 'cause the marketing is just too damn good for that
I
movie,
know.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Even I had some trailers.
Yeah.
I didn't go out of my way to watch them, but even I
Yeah.
was subjected to the Batman marketing, which tells you how intense it was.
Do we wrangle it in for some final thoughts?
Have we touched upon everything we wanted to?
Yeah, I'm hoping our final thoughts will remind us of some things.
Yeah, I mean, like before we end off,
Yeah.
the one thing I've been sitting on waiting for like the very end
Go for it.
is like this is a really down to earth Batman. I felt a really
very
down to earth
grounded.
Batman movie.
Very
He's a
grounded.
detective. All his technology is believable.
Yeah.
He doesn't take care of himself.
He doesn't take care of himself. It's different too. He's very emo. It's a very new Batman we saw.
You don't see him work out ever.
No.
But you do see him shirtless. I thought it was funny that the whole thing of him trying to solve everything, he just doesn't have a shirt on at all.
Yeah. I guess they had to throw that in there at some point, right?
I don't blame him.
And like and this is such a different Batman, and calling it all the way back to the DC trailer, I hope and pray that we do not see this Batman integrated into
No.
a Justice League.
Yeah,
because
no
way.
It won't fit.
That's
It-
one
there's
thing
no way
I
to
like
fit.
about where DC's been going. They're just doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to do a Marvel thing because it would just get messy.
Yeah.
And
The only reason I bring it up is because like they show them all together, and we're so used to Marvel that we're like, is this gonna cross over? Is this in the same universe?
Yeah.
I hope and pray it isn't, because it won't fit.
No, it won't.
And because
It would ruin
they've said a few weeks ago, I think, that
it's its own thing.
it's its own thing. Same with the Joker. They're their own things in this
Batverse,
DC dark universe or something.
Really?
Maybe not dark.
What's this movie rated?
It's called
PG-13.
Okay.
yeah.
Or else you would have seen some more blood.
I would have
I
taken
would
R
I would
easily.
have preferred R.
Blood.
Yeah.
I would prefer
'Cause, like,
seeing
do we
the
see any
Riddler.
blood?
No.
Maybe in the sequel.
Well, I guess
maybe in the
the
sequel.
Riddler stuff.
You see some blood, but you don't see blood coming out of people.
Yeah.
I would have preferred
Like-
to see Riddler mutilate someone.
One of the cops said
Yeah.
all this blood came from his head, and like we didn't see it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like, show me, let's see it.
Or
you
like
know?
there's like blood dripping on him, and his hand is sort of hurt a little
Yeah,
bit.
you couldn't really see.
Maybe in the next one we're gonna get a different new villain who's way out there, and we get it R,
Yeah,
and
I'd
it's
love
something
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But this it still worked without it, but I would have liked to see just like an R cut of it, like a separate cut where they just add all those things.
as long as it's its own separate thing, and it's
Yeah.
not like Batfleck in the Justice
Yeah.
League, I am okay with that.
Before final thoughts, what were we thinking with the Batman Catwoman relationship at the end there? Were we wanting? Oh, stay with me. What were we wanting there, Adam?
I guess I was fine with what happened. Like, she was good for this movie, and we can move on and we can do something else, something new in another movie.
There's-
So you don't want to see her back?
Well, no, it'd be great to see her back, but I mean, I don't maybe see her being the focus of another
Right.
Batman movie in this trilogy or whatever we get in the same way that we saw her in this movie.
Okay.
I could even see them going in a Robin direction, which I
Interesting.
think with
Yeah.
the campiness, they could make
Yeah.
it work.
Interesting.
I had that thought for a split second with the mayor's son. The age doesn't line up, but like the way he
We
he
see
was
that
looking
son
at
a
him,
lot.
The amount of
Like
time.
a half dozen times.
Not
I mean-
just the way he was looking at him, but the amount of times we focus on the son. I'm like, it didn't seem impossible
I mean,
in the
a
moment.
Batman on year 20 taking in a Robin from that would have been with the time, what age would
Yeah.
work.
Age
but,
is weird, but
It would, I
I
think
thought
fine.
of a Robin. I thought we could get a Robin in this
Yeah, I
universe.
think filmmakers have been scared to do Robin since Batman and Robin.
But imagine like
That's
George
true.
Clooney.
They haven't done Robin.
They
since
haven't
then.
since
this
that,
is
right?
like a younger
I
Batman.
mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But
So if we get like a Robin around a similar age, even like that could be
That would be
these are just
interesting.
two dudes who
Yeah.
like whipping ass.
yeah.
I think it could work with this because of the noir detective.
Mhm.
I think a Robin could.
I think he's also
fit
learned in
that.
this movie that he doesn't have to do it alone because
Yeah.
he does need help sometimes.
This seems like the best time for them to try Robin again. I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, see, the thing with the Catwoman Batman, like, you know, it's mostly done in the comics. You don't see it in the movies too much, but like, you know, there are comics where like Catwoman and Batman are like they're you know they're like a relationship,
Yeah.
right? I guess the Dark Knight Rises they were kind of together at the end, but I think I want that just because their chemistry, man.
Yeah.
It's unreal, yeah.
It just
That's
it
good.
seems like it has to be done. Look the way the eye contact, dude. Right? So I was hoping, you know, go get your woman, man. I wanted a full on rom-com moment. So
Yeah, I
he
did.
chases her down and it's
Yeah.
raining. Just stay with me. Fight crime. But I
Yeah.
guess, you know, Catwoman's nature, Batman's nature, I should respect that they're staying true to their characters.
I think.
We'll see her again, but I don't know in what capacity.
I think looking back, I didn't think of it in the moment, but now that you mention it, like a rom-com moment.
I wanted
when
it
they
so
were
bad.
when they were riding side by side.
I
on
was
the
ready
bikes,
for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, are we like
Kiss
what
in
is-
the rain, Iris, roll credits.
But I didn't mind the tunnel. She goes left. He
Yeah.
goes right because of course he would.
Yeah.
And then we get that long shot of her riding off and him stopping, and then he goes his separate way, no looking back. Of course we'd get something like that, right? I'm not
Yeah.
complaining about that.
I like that scene when they're about to kiss and then she walks away and he calls her. I thought he was gonna be like, "Come here," but no, we didn't get that.
I remember turning to you when he was like looking around for the contact and they're staring at each other and he's like, "What's good?"
Oh my gosh!
He pushes her away.
Because
and
the
then-
sexual tension was
I know, it was
was
unreal.
remarkable. He was like, "Okay, you're good," and it steps away. Oh my gosh! I almost fainted. I was sweating. I was gripping my seat so
Yeah.
hard. Oh my gosh!
Rip that thing right off.
But yeah, I mean, and it's the actors, right? I mean, them
Yeah.
too.
It's such a good cast.
Yeah.
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 I don't
They
know if
were-
I have any complaints. Even like just some random extras.
All
The
around.
twins, man.
The twins.
The twins were so good.
They're funny.
The twins
Yeah.
were so funny. Oh, you know who I am? Twins.
Yeah.
Let me go get my twin, and then we'll figure out who you are.
Yeah.
We got
Three times.
Three times, yeah.
One's
Make
with
it
Batman,
mad.
one's with
Bruce
Bruce,
Wayne.
and one's with no one.
Yeah.
Those twins are great.
Even like Martinez, I was like, okay, this guy's nobody. But then we got
goes
him.
back,
we got him-
yeah.
He helped solve
Yeah.
part of the like. He
Yeah, I
didn't
like
because
that
the
guy.
bombs
He
went off,
incidentally, yeah.
but
He helped
we
figure
got-
out the
he was
thing.
there. I
we
liked
got more
him.
dynamic than I was expecting. So all the
I mean, yeah,
characters-
he helped out with that carpet thing.
Yeah.
You know, right? That
And-
tool.
It's a minor thing, but
Yeah.
all the characters were
I
doing
like
it
that
for
guy.
me.
Tucker.
I like that guy.
They were all doing it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, they were just. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Does that see? I thought that would happen. Does that bring us to final thoughts then?
I
I'm sure we'll go off again, but
yeah, we will ramble.
I guess we can try to wrap it up. We've hit 60 minutes now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But impressive time for something of this caliber.
And I think
Yeah.
that's because like other movies that we agreed on, we could always find like maybe a thing or two we would want to do better. But even in this movie, we cannot we found flaws,
Yeah.
but we're so willing to forgive them. that,
Also,
like,
we're not arguing. We're all just like, yes,
we can't,
yes,
we
yes,
can't
yes.
find a single thing that is objectively wrong with this movie.
Yeah,
No.
that affects the movie as a whole.
Yeah, everything is so minor we can forgive it.
This is a really cool movie.
Plot holes don't matter when you have good cinematography.
Yeah, absolutely. For
Yeah,
sure.
I'm excited to watch it again.
Oh
I think
yeah.
it'll age like fine wine.
Yeah.
Adam, our special guest, do you want to open up closing remarks? You can offer, because we like to do ratings, and you can even think of it as in the whole Batman
Something
realm.
I'd like to know
Yeah.
is how does this Bruce Wayne stack compared to some other ones we've seen.
Yep, that's good. That's good.
Because for
good
me, I really like this Batman Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it really works for me. And what was Christian Bale the best Batman? I mean, for me, the highlight of those movies is Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Even like Liam Neeson in the first one.
And
Cillian
Tom
Murphy.
and Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
Tom
Cillian
Hardy
Murphy.
too,
Cillian
absolutely.
Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, the villains are
Also,
probably the
just
best part
Nolan,
about
Nolan's direction and writing, and then Christian Bale.
Christian
Yeah,
Bale fits in
Christian
there
Bale is
somewhere.
very
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
There are plenty of moments in his character, in his performance that I really like.
To touch on that, I feel like this emo Batman, it's because I think it's a large part because he's so young.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 years from now, I could see Pattinson's Batman
Playboy.
more like the
Playboy?
Playboy. I don't know, maybe not though. I think we can attribute his age to the emo-ness.
I think it's just such a
Maybe he'll
Such
age
a-
out of it.
good narrative, because like it would go one of two ways probably, right? His parents die, he has all this money, he spends it, or his parents die. Now what's he gonna do? He becomes
sulks
recluse.
for
He's
over a long
sulking.
time. Because he has no one to teach him anything. He's a young kid who doesn't learn anything, doesn't go to school. The
And
only
all-
person teaching him is Butler. He teaches him how to fight, and he's scared of everything. He doesn't know who killed his parents. He's all alone.
And also the
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
He's got long hair. His eyes are always black. He's
Yeah.
he's not the biggest Batman. He's this
He's not
very
sleeping.
unimposing guy.
Yeah.
He's not like super jacked or anything. So yeah, he's
Mm-hmm. But I still bought that he was just kicking everyone's ass.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
The suit. It was a suit.
Yeah.
That was why.
Yeah, it's they're two very different takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Almost like incomparably so.
I forget the
Mhm.
Because
question, which is why I
it's
stopped.
two different, two different interpretations.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Adam's final thoughts.
Yeah, I really like this movie. I'm thinking about when's the next time I'm gonna see it. And that's always, a good feeling to have when you finish a good movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. What would you rate this one? Do you have a rating in mind at
Right now, I have it at a 9.
Mm.
all? 9. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a few things that, was teetering the line, but nothing too egregious that I can't forgive. I really enjoyed it.
The type of thing that like another watch, who knows, it may even be like a full 5 stars or something.
Could be, yeah.
Mhm. What about you fellas? Final thoughts?
I'm thinking 5 stars.
Yeah.
I'm
I
thinking
respect
5
that.
stars.
I respect that.
And alert, like, yeah. I'm very forgiving of movies.
Mhm.
I like to like movies.
Yeah.
And so I don't usually pick up on plot holes. I usually find excuses for the plot holes. No plot holes really stood, except for like the not taking off his helmet, his mask.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many good shots. There were so many good shots. The score.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
The
got to be 5.
score.
It's got to be 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah. No, I think it was good that I watched this in a theater. This is a theater movie,
Yeah.
just because of the sound specifically.
sound.
You felt it.
The
you
sound.
felt the
You get to
bass,
see everything
the
out here. You,
gunshot.
More
you
than
feel
anything
every
else, the
punch. You
sound.
feel every note in the music, and I like that a lot. The being there in the theater didn't bother me as much. I think having all of this experience around my brain helped pass the time more than if I just was watching it on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And I was able to pay more attention to it because when I watch stuff on a TV, I get distracted by everything around me really
Yeah.
easily. But this, I'm distracted by the movie.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, it was. I mean, dare I say, I enjoyed it more than the Dark Knight movies.
Yeah.
I found it more appealing visually,
Yeah.
and just in terms of the way the characters are used, I find more appealing. Just everything is just very self-contained in a very enjoyable film. The score is great. It works marvelous. The characters are incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I knew I'd like it, but
Yeah.
this is a really good time, and I think a lot of the campiness helped for that because I think that
Definitely.
just elevated the movie from just like a serious superhero movie to a serious and fun, like comic book, action, crime, thriller. It's all these genres. Romance. It has everything.
Romance.
So yeah, I'm definitely sitting between like a 9 and a 10. Like, good old maybe even 5 stars. Like, I'm really feeling this one.
Yeah, like I really want to be like, oh, where does this rank in my list of Batman movies? But like, it's an outlier.
It is an outlier.
You know, like, how do I compare this to The Dark Knight? You know, The Dark Knight is Heat. If this is Seven, you know, they're different movies. You know, I can't compare them.
If I can jump in on your thoughts here, this is why, like, I'm always hesitant to say my favorite movie of all time, because movies are so different. To me, and I'm thinking of this now that we've been bringing it up, this and Dark Knight are the best of the best.
Yeah.
They are inseparable. They are two different entities. They are both number one. Unless something crazy happens where this movie doesn't age well, I don't know what that could be. I don't see it becoming worse than it is right now. We haven't said anything bad about it, and I could only imagine what it would be like being there when Dark Knight came out, seeing it in the theaters, what we would have been saying now. But I assume it went something similar to tonight.
The only main criticism we've seen about the film is the topic of police and how Batman interacts with the police. But I don't think it's as bad as it could be. He's not very pro cop in this movie. The only one he likes is Jim Gordon.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
He beats up a lot of cops.
Yeah.
And
punches Gordon.
He punches Gordon, but that's different context. Yeah, I know. But yeah, no, I think everything in this movie is done pretty well.
Yeah, also, the character of Batman being, you know, the detective. I mean, he's always kind of been close with the police department to solve his own things. But, see, it's hard because I really want to say 5 stars, but then, like, a small piece of me hesitates. And then as soon as that small piece of me hesitates, I think, well, then how can I say 5 stars? Because, you know, 5 stars should be, like...
You're confident in it.
Like,
no question.
You're blown away no matter what.
Blown away, which means, like, I feel like I gotta go 9.5, which puts me at 4.5 stars. And, you know, it's the type of movie where I feel like a rewatch could just be, like... 5 stars.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd have to sit at 4.5 just because, you know, 5 stars, you gotta be 100% 5 stars to
you're
do
right.
it. But yeah, I mean, I had such a great time because I was always like, you know, just so pleased with, like, every minute I was pleased, whether it was a character or a line of dialogue or a shot or a musical cue or a set piece. You know, it was all just executed so well, I thought. And I'm excited for the inevitable sequel when this movie continues to just make a lot of money. But also, I mean, whether it's making money or not, it's quality warrants a sequel, and I feel like even a studio would realize that.
Yeah, is Matt Reeves gonna maybe get the best trilogy of the 2010s and the 2020s?
Planet of the Apes is the best trilogy of the 2010s.
Maybe. Interesting.
But Matt Reeves, I mean...
Best blockbuster trilogy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else kind of trilogies came out in that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Fast and Furious.
I mean, that's not trilogy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt Reeves, R. Pat, Zoe, like, just every name on this...
There's not a single bad name.
No one dropped the ball in any capacity.
It's so well polished. It's
just pristine.
I'm glad I had that extra time in production to get everything.
It didn't hurt.
Yeah. Maybe it even made it even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can complain all we want that the camera test was 2 years ago, but it didn't do it any harm.
They tested that camera well.
But I guess if we have no other thoughts, we'll close this Caped Crusader chapter.
One of the most relaxing
we're just all sitting here gushing over it.
Yep.
Well, Adam, I think that that we need to thank you
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
for being on the show.
Yeah, it's an honor.
We'll have to get you on again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I guess to bring this to a close, thank you if anyone's still here as we're hitting minute 75. We went on a bit of a hiatus, but we're back. I don't know when we'll be back again.
Months.
Probably a couple months, but thanks for sticking around. This has been 808 Not Takes. I've been Palmer Wells.
I'm Evan Parrish.
And I'm Paul.
You take care now. Goodbye.
And adios.
Bye bye bye.
Goodbye.